Hey guys, welcome back. And I want to share a story with you about why I really am careful about the kind of almonds that I buy. Now, this is the beginning of the story of how I learned about almonds. So I was on a flight years ago. This was like a, standard commercial flight, and I'm sitting next to a farmer who is the owner of that organic farm that has those farm boxes that they deliver to people's homes locally? Some of you may know of this. So, anyway, he's the owner of this farm. And he starts telling me about, because I asked him about almonds and the difference between unpasteurized and pasteurized almonds. So, first of all, we probably think, oh, pasteurization is good because it kills salmonella. So, the reason they pasteurize almonds in the first place is to kill this bacteria called salmonella. But the problem is the pasteurization process. And this is what this farmer was telling me. So he said, do you know that they actually use a chemical that is almost like a nerve toxin to pasteurize almonds? And I was like, what? Why would they do that? I thought they just like high heat, like killed the bacteria or something. And he said, yes, some of them do steam pasteurization, but some of them, depending on the cost, may just use a substance called propylene oxide. So that's the name of the substance. It's called propylene oxide. And he said, this is like a nerve toxin, and they put it on almonds. And I thought, wait a second, that means that almond milk and the almonds that I eat, that they could have this like carcinogenic chemical on it. And he said the only way that you can get true raw almonds that don't have this chemical on it is to buy it directly from a farmer. And I never knew that. So I thought about all the different areas that I'm exposed to almond milk, and probably with regularity, it would be like the drink I get at the coffee shop, and I do a substitution of dairy and I do almond milk instead. So it made me think that I need to look into this. So I dug into the research and I found an agricultural journal, and it basically described how pretty much all almonds in California are pasteurized. And they're pasteurized either by high heat, so steam, or using this propylene oxide. And I was like, I can't believe it. This is really true. What this farmer was telling me on the airplane, that almonds can be toxic depending on how they're pasteurized. This paper says it all. And this paper is included below here. It's an agricultural paper, agricultural journal article. So we don't know which toxin is on the almonds because we don't know how they're pasteurized. But basically, in 2007, and this is exactly what the farmer said to me too. He said in 2007, they passed a law in California stating that all almonds had to be pasteurized. And the law didn't describe what kind of pasteurization process, it just had to be pasteurized. So you don't know if your almonds have this propylene oxide toxin on them or if they're just steam pasteurized. So I looked into where can you get almonds that don't have this pasteurization process, because even raw almonds likely are pasteurized, because it's more than 90% of the almonds sold in California. It's something like close to 100% of the almonds in California have all gone through a pasteurization process, whether or not they say raw. So only through directly buying from a farmer can you get almonds that haven't been treated. But the problem is, some of you might be worrying about salmonella, because that can be a bad thing too. And I worried about that as well. But nevertheless, there are farms that sell almonds that have not been treated. And it's possible that they go through a different process than pasteurization, because there's probably other processes that almonds can be treated with to help reduce the bacterial load. Or perhaps if they're not sort of dropped on the ground and left there for days before they're cracked open, that could probably reduce the bacterial load as well. So the salmonella issue seems to be part of the industrial process of processing almonds. That's my guess, because almonds do go through this kind of very mechanical treatment and very kind of protocol way that they're packaged and then sold. So the trees are mechanically shaken. The almonds are then left on the ground before they're removed from the husk or the shell. So it's possible that some small farms can reduce the bacterial load by just not allowing the almonds to either sit on the ground for days or sit in a vat or a bin for days, or being exposed to any moisture. That's a possibility. Nevertheless, I'll leave it to you to look for the healthiest almonds that you can find, or unless you can find a company that says they're actually just using steam and it doesn't contain the propylene oxide. I will include a link below to a family farm that specifically mentions on their website that they don't use propylene oxide. And if you look up propylene oxide, don't be scared. It is a carcinogen. At least that's what it says on the internet there, that it is a flammable carcinogenic product. And I don't know why they use it for pasteurization. It seems like there could be other ways. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Take care.